We trusted them. Those old cars? They were more than machines. They were safe havens, time capsules, rolling homes. But beneath the chrome and vinyl was danger. The very seats we loved, the dashboards we admired, even the keys we turned, they hid risks we didn't yet understand. This is part 1 of a journey into the forgotten hazards of vintage car interiors. Not to scare, but to remember. The front bench seat. Wide, flat, covered in shiny vinyl. It stretched from door to door like a living room sofa. You could slide across it, sit between your parents, hold hands on a date, a symbol of closeness. But in a crash, it became a disaster. With no center divider, and often just lap belts, passengers would slam into each other or the dashboard. By the 1970s, safety experts warned that bench seats contributed to higher side impact injuries, especially for middle passengers. It was comfort over caution, a couch on wheels, but one that didn't care where you landed. Metal dashboards. Step into a car from the 1950s. First thing you'd see? That dashboard. Not soft, not padded, just a slab of gleaming steel. It matched the car's paint. It was beautiful until your face met it. Before Federal Safety Standard 201 in 1968, there was no requirement for padded interiors. In a crash, that metal surface hit like a wall. Stylish? Absolutely. Forgiving? Never. Dashboard-mounted ignition. Many early cars had the ignition key on the dash. Convenient, easy to reach. But in a collision, that key, along with your heavy keychain, became a steel dart aimed at your knees. The risk of leg and femur injuries led manufacturers to move the ignition to the steering column by the mid-1970s, especially after FMVSS number 204 addressed steering control systems. Starting the engine shouldn't put you in a hospital, but in the old days, it could. Non-collapsible steering columns. Before 1967, most cars had a solid steel steering column, a straight rod, from your hands to the front wheels. It worked great until the front end crumpled. Then that rod turned into a spear, pointed right at the driver's chest. In 1967, GM introduced the first energy-absorbing, collapsible steering column, and by 1968, it became mandatory under federal law. It took decades and thousands of injuries to fix a design flaw that now seems terrifyingly obvious. Lap-only seatbelts. Seatbelts arrived in the US market in the 1960s, but early on, they were lap belts only. One strap, across the hips. They were designed to keep you from flying out the windshield, but your upper body still flew forward violently. Studies later showed that lap belts alone could increase spinal injuries and internal organ trauma in crashes. That's why the 3-point seatbelt introduced by Volvo in 1959 became US standard equipment starting in 1968. The belt kept you in the car, but not in one piece. Lack of headrests. Old car seats look elegant, but they were missing something crucial: headrests. Until the late 60s, headrests were optional. Some saw them as luxury, but whiplash injuries were common and painful. After crash studies in Sweden and the US, headrests became mandatory in US vehicles in 1969 under FMVSS number 202, a small cushion that saved necks and changed the seat forever. Vent windows. Remember those little triangle windows up front? You could flip them open for a breeze, or flick out a cigarette. We called them smoker's windows. But they had flaws. They were easy for thieves to pop open, and in rollover crashes, They became weak points in the car's structure, great for ventilation, terrible for rollover protection. They started disappearing in the early 80s as cars shifted toward stronger frames and sealed designs. Swing-away steering wheels. Now this one was fancy. In 1961, Ford introduced the swing-away steering wheel. You could slide it to the side when exiting the car, a luxury move. But the locking mechanisms didn't always work. In some cases, the steering wheel could shift while driving. Elegant? Yes. Safe? Not always. It was quietly discontinued after reports of failures in the early 1970s. These features were born in a time when safety came second to style, when we believed more in chrome than crumple zones. We didn't know better, not yet, but we learned often the hard way. Today, we click our seatbelt without thinking. We trust our airbags. We count on design to protect us, and we owe that comfort to the painful lesson hidden in these stories. Which one surprised you most? Did your parents drive a car with a metal dash? Or maybe you remember those swinging steering wheels? Share your memories in the comments. And if you found this look back meaningful or a little chilling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time when we step into the back seat, because this journey is just getting started.